Welcome everybody to, I think this is episode 4, 5 of the Guardian Fitness podcast. Thank you for listening. If you guys like the information we're putting out, please just like, subscribe, um, and get the name out there. Today we're going to be going over what Guardian Fitness is versus what Guardian Fitness is not, and we actually have one of our longest standing members as a part of Guardian Fitness here on the podcast. So, Connor, please go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Hello, my name is Connor. I am 27 years old. I work in an emergency department. I've been in this emergency department for about a little over 4 years now. And who I am and, the course I've taken in life has kind of brought me, right here to Guardian Fitness. And I could not be more excited to talk about it.
Awesome, man. So, based on your understanding of what I was trying to do when you reached out in December of 2022, I believe, like
Yeah.
what led you to us instead of, other companies like Be a PJ or, um, you know, Rescue
Yeah.
Athlete?
So our actual first, I still have the email. Our actual first contact, our first face-to-face was December 27th, 2022. Um, I saw you on Instagram and I found your page just at the right time. And to explain what the right time is, I'm going to go way, way back. So when I was about 16, 17, I wanted to be a PJ. That was all I wanted to do. Well, I shouldn't say all I wanted to do because I still wanted to go to college. I was playing lacrosse. I wanted to play lacrosse in college. I wanted to get a degree, but I knew I wanted to be a PJ. That was my be all end all. I went to school. I was actually in ROTC, Air Force ROTC for a week. Um, but then school became like my focus, and then lacrosse, I was really trying to excel there. ROTC just it wasn't in the I would have been overextending myself. Something would have gave. I had a cut ROTC, but I was okay with that because I was like, you know what? I don't really know if I want to be an officer anyway. Um, so I'm just gonna focus on this now. I'll worry about that later. Well, in school, I learned that I really liked school. I really liked biology. I really liked science. I really liked medicine. And I had a professor telling me, she was like, "Why don't you start looking into med school?" And I was like, "I don't know, like I kind of want to do this other thing. This other thing sounds like a lot of fun. I've always wanted to do it." But the more I thought about it, the more I started to think that med school was the way I was supposed to go in life. And as time went on, I did more research. I thought I was doing some soul searching, and yeah, I ended up writing off para rescue as just a childhood dream. Every kid wants to be something when he grows up. He doesn't always become it. That was what I wrote that off as. But as time went on, I was under the impression that medicine was my true calling. So that became my focus. All I wanted to do was go to med school. I was doing everything I could to go to med school. I did well in all my classes. I graduated. I took the MCAT, did well on it, got the job in the emergency room, was there during COVID. And I thought I was really setting myself up for med school. Um, I applied the first time and I got waitlisted by two schools. And then I didn't end up getting into those schools. And to be totally honest, I never really um, expressed it, but I took that pretty hard. I took it kind of really to heart because I poured my heart out into these applications. I gave up so much to make this happen, and I was in the ER during COVID. I thought that would have been enough. Anyway, I took it pretty hard that I didn't get in. So I thought, you know what, I'll work another year and then I'll apply again. So I did that. When I was applying again, I don't know what it was, but something brought me back to the military. I started to look at like medic jobs, and I started to look at other things involving medicine and the military. And then rescue came back into the picture. And I was like, I remember you. And I started doing a little more research. I was just itching to scratch or scratching the itch. And I went a little bit deeper and deeper. And then I was like, oh my God, I think I want to be a PJ again. So this was kind of a right around the time that I found Guardian Fitness. Actually, it was actually a little bit after because I'd already made up my mind that I wanted to be a PJ. Um, but I had a long ways to go because I was not in great shape. Um, and to be totally honest, I don't know if my head was totally in it. Um, so that was when I was going through Instagram, and I found I started following all these like soft pages and para rescue pages, to just try and like see if this is really what I want to do again and just get in that mindset. And I found Guardian Fitness, and you guys said you were offering a mentorship, and I was like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. Like there's nothing like the experience of working with someone that's been there and done that. So I was like, look, if this is worth anything, it's worth at least to reach out. So that was when I sent you the email. I reached out, and we went from there.
Nice. So a couple questions popped up based off of what you said. Um, so you finished out your 4-year degree, right? You have your
Yeah,
bachelor's. You have been working at a hospital. How long have you been working in a hospital right now?
over 4 years, a little over four
Over
years.
4 years. So were you working there as you were going to school as well?
No, I got that job after I graduated. I took 2 months off to study for the MCAT. I did that, and then after I took the MCAT, that was when I got the job there.
Okay. So you're talking about 8 years after graduating high school, maybe 9,
Yeah. Oh
right?
yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's important here because of the results that you're going to go over here in a few minutes. Like what coach has been able to do for you. But something else I want to touch on is like it used to be said that pararescue was a young man's game, right? People out of high school used to be the ones who would make it through NDoc more effectively than others. But right now, what I'm seeing more at the pararescue schoolhouse is people between the ages of like 24 to 35, right? So it's less of that recent high school graduate dynamic and more of the I have a bachelor's, I have some life experience, this is what I want age group. So you're falling right into that. I think it's important that a lot of people hear that. It's not too late for you. It's not too late for anybody who wants to go into these career fields. Um, all right. So you reached out to Guardian Fitness. You found us on Instagram. Um, what was your first impression?
My first impression, right off the bat, was how how genuine you were, and how the the mission you had in mind was different than a lot of these other soft prep programs. And that's not to say, one is better than the other. They just offer different things, and it was clear right away that what you were offering was very different. Um, these other programs, they offer very like everything's a task, everything's physical, um, everything's, follow this list of workouts this week, then this list of workouts the next week, and do this, and this, and then you'll pass the IFT, and then this will get you through basic, and this will get you through assessment and selection. Uh, you didn't offer that. You didn't make promises, and not that these other ones do make the promise, because Whoever's doing it always has to be the one to put in the work. But you didn't say that that's what you're gonna do. You didn't say I'm gonna get you to pass the IFT, or I'm gonna get you through assessment and selection.
I
Uh,
think I think the words I used were, I don't care if you make it through assessment and selection. At least that's what I've told a lot of people. I may not have said that to you, but that's not my goal. My goal is much bigger, which, sorry for interrupting. Keep going.
no, no. Well, that kind of ties into, um, what the difference is, and it's that, you know, anyone can get big, anyone can get strong, anyone can get fast. I mean, like anyone. If you took someone off the street, um, give him a year of exercise and stuff, and make sure he does them, and he'll get big, strong, and fast, right? What not everyone, I don't say not everyone can achieve, but not everyone focuses on. And this is what you told me, and actually what is reiterated among across the board in SOF is how little the physical aspects of these kinds of things matter. Um, how little it matter, how little it matters what shape you're in. You said, you know, very few people don't make it through these kinds of things because they're out of shape, and how the standards you need to go in are more than enough. um what you stressed was the mental side, and you didn't just stress the mental side in the sense of, like you said, making it through A&S. You stressed the mental side from a perspective of life. um let's say you make it through A&S, and you get to the job, and the job isn't what you thought it would be. And now you're everything you've worked for, you thought you were working towards, you suddenly can't do. Or let's say, you make it all the way through A&S, and you make it to the end of the pipeline, and then you blow your knee out just doing something you've done a million times. It just wasn't your day. You landed funny, your knee's gone. Um, there goes, everything that you thought you were working towards. Um, let's say you're on the job and you're doing the job, and you're going to save someone. You don't save them, they die. You know are and all of a sudden you're not doing what you thought you were supposed to be doing. These other programs, they don't I don't want to say they don't tell you what to do if you fail, um because I think the word failure could have a couple different definitions, but they don't teach you what to do if you lose. They don't give you anything to um, grasp onto if you lose. If you lose your spot in A&S, if you lose your patient's life, if you lose the job, if you lose this, what do you really have when you lose? And that is what sets Guardian Fitness apart. Is you have shown me, and you show everyone that comes through the program, what you really do have when you lose, and what that is your purpose, and your mission. um Nobody, no other program really prepares you for loss like Guardian Fitness does.
It's an interesting perspective. I've never heard it put that way. I like it though.
Yeah, I mean, look, everyone, you hear it all the time. It pays to be a winner, um, which it does. Um, and these other programs, just you do this, this, and this, and you'll win assessment and selection. You'll make it through. Um, and you'll get the job, and you'll do the job, and at the end of it, you're gonna win, win, win. But that's not how life works. Um, I've recognized that and I'm speaking, as someone who has not gone through assessment and selection, but through what I've learned with Guardian Fitness is I've learned that, losing losing can only drop me as far as I am away from my purpose. Um, and I realize I've been saying that a lot, but I haven't really explained what the purpose is. So I've been doing a lot of talking here, and you're actually the one that brought me to my purpose and my mission. So, um, why don't you could probably explain it better than I can, what it means to have a purpose and what it means to have a mission.
I mean, you know more about my story than most of the other people who've reached out. Um, but so many people going for pararescue, so many people going for these combat AFSCs or these special operations type career fields, they think that that job is their entire purpose for existing, right? So, like, when I joined at 17 years old, I thought that others may live was my entire purpose for being on this earth, right? So, fast forward 4 years when I'm in a situation where I can physically do my job, but I get told I'm not allowed to do my job. It destroys me, right? Because my whole purpose is that others may live, but no, you can't do that. Um, Fast forward a bit more, getting out of the military. This is something that most people, I'm going to venture, or I'm going to go on a limb and say everybody who gets out of the military struggles with a sense of purpose, right? And it's probably one of the biggest things that they struggle with is finding a purpose for existing outside of the military. My goal is to be proactive instead of reactive, right? Instead of establishing another nonprofit for you when you get out of the military to help you find your sense of purpose, I established a business that'll reach out to you before you join, that gives you your own intrinsic form of motivation so that if for whatever reason you are unable to live up to the standard of that others may live, it doesn't destroy you the way it does me. Uh, yeah. So that is my version of the purpose. It is your own intrinsic reason for pushing yourself as hard and as fast and as, uh, I guess, intentional as you do. You have anything
I
to add?
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about, guys get out of the military, they don't have a sense of purpose and that kind of, again, this is coming from somebody that's not a vet, but I would dare say it confuses them, it scares them, and it leaves them not really sure of where to go in life. You know, you could say that almost when they get out of the military, they're losing. Again, they're losing something. Um, and that's what these other programs don't go as far as um, like teaching you not how to lose, but how to like what to find when you lose. And I think that's something that goes deeper, like you were saying, than ANS. I mean, not that you can't use that in ANS, and not that there's not going to be times in ANS when you are losing and you need something to fall back on, but the idea of a purpose goes so far beyond the the small scope of ANS, and it sounds weird to call ANS a small scope because it is so it's held on such a high pedestal, and people base their entire lives and personalities around their performance there, which, I think they should, as it is kind of a an opportunity to show off, what you've done your entire life leading up to that point. But in the grand scheme of things, the grand scheme of life, ANS is this. ANS is like that. The rest of your life is what matters. And what is the rest of your life if you don't have a purpose? Um, what finding my purpose and mission through Guardian Fitness has given me is it's something to both fall back on and something to push me forwards, or something to reach towards. It's both behind me and in front of me. And what I mean by that is, if things, aren't going my way, if I'm losing, we'll say, um, I know that I can only fall as far down as my purpose is. Um, if I'm say I get to A&S and I'm having a really bad event or something, and the cadre are in my ear, um, I can only sink as far as my floor is. Um, that's the purpose. But let's say, I'm having a good day. Or let's say, I'm feeling good. I wake up in the morning, ready to go. My purpose is also out in front of me. It's something I want to strive towards. It's something I want to get, something I want to accomplish every day. Um, it's it's like I said, it's something that's behind me and in front of me. It's something to fall back on and something to reach towards. It's something that's very guiding.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. So the first time you meet with me, right? We talk. It's like, hey man, is this something you're actually interested in? Or am I just gonna waste my time with you? Um, and so far, luckily, I haven't wasted my time with anybody. It's been a great experience on all ends, I believe. Second time you meet with me, we go over that purpose statement, right? Have you read a book, do some homework, you come back, you tell your stories, and we sit down and we figure it out. Um, the third time we meet up, we go over a mission statement. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah, yeah, that one was a lot of fun. Because a lot of the way you don't really know where it's going, and along the way you're kind of like you're like seeing the puzzle pieces come down. And you're like, oh, that one's cool. Oh, that one's cool. Oh, that one's cool. And then the next thing you know, it's like, whoa, 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 and then like you have like all these puzzle pieces. You're like, oh, these are cool. But then you start putting them together, and when you get the final picture, you're like, whoa, this is cool. And it's funny because you put the picture together, and it's almost like a mirror, but it's like the clearest mirror you've ever seen in your life. And you're like, that's me. And it's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I remember my first time doing that. Wow, that was such an odd comment to make. I remember my first beer. No. Um, just walking away from that exercise like, whoa, this is crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so from there, right, you reach out to Guardian Fitness, even before those meetings. Um, I throw you in a group chat with a bunch of other people. What are some benefits? How did you feel hopping into that group chat initially? And then what are some kind of benefits that you got from it?
Um, so initially, everyone's introducing themselves, and saying kind of where they are and these different processes to where they are in life. And at first, it's like any environment where you're thrown into a room, you're just trying to get like a feel for who everyone is and what everyone's about. And I mean, initially I was like very impressed with the other people I was in there with. I was like, oh my God, these people are like awesome, and like who am I? Like the one guy in it, he's a PhD candidate. The other guy in it, he's a mountain rescue guy, I believe in Tennessee, is it? Yeah. So, I'm just like, oh my God, these people are awesome. Um, but as time goes on, we talk more. Everyone kind of like loosens up a little bit and finds their niche. And now, um, that group chat. So a couple of months ago, I started to scale back my social media usage. Just less time on my phone, more time. Just being like where I am, and I still have like social media stuff for like because I realized that I learn a lot on social media, but I was like I got to get off these like other apps. So, but the one app I kept, and the one app I continued to use throughout that was the one with our group chat in it, and I thought a lot about why, and then I really got to um, talk about it a little bit more when one of the members in the group chat said he asked he was like, guys, is it okay if I get a little bit emotional here for a second? And everyone's like, yeah, yeah, this like that like we're just there for each other. And he's like, I'm kind of having a hard time right now because you know no one else really gets what I'm doing, and this is like after he had a really good time in one of the workouts we were doing. He had a really good time in it, and what I'm gonna assume is that he had a really good time. He told his family about it, and they just didn't get it. They're like, "Oh, that's nice. You couldn't have done it faster, whatever." And he came to us, and he was like, am I wrong to like feel bad that they're not as interested?" And that was kind of where I realized the importance of that group. Um, a lot of people talk about going into isolation before leaving for basic or going to A&S, whatever, um, just being with themselves in their own mind. And as important as that is, and as important as I think it is to, delete, get off of social media and not be tied to your phone for a million different reasons. I don't think that's the whole story because, you know, SOF and the career field, I mean, anywhere you want to go in life, um, you're always gonna be better off going as a team. In SOF and in A&S, again, I'm speaking from someone that has not been there, but from my understanding, um, you know, as much as it is on you to succeed, um, it's not all about you. It's about the team. It's about your role in the team. It's about helping the team. It's about the team, you know, lifting you up and you lifting the team up and everyone giving their strengths to make up for others' weaknesses. Um, and no one's, I mean, maybe in like some selections somewhere only one person has ever made it through, but the whole objective is the team, and that's not just in A&S, that's um, in the field, in you could speak to this. Has any mission ever been about has one person ever completed a mission? I'm gonna assume the answer is no.
Chris Craighead saved 700 hostages from a hotel in Kenya, I believe it was.
Oh,
He's the one.
fuck. Okay, well, yeah, there's one. um but I'd say 99, well, maybe we'll say 98 just to be safe, percent of the time. It's about the team. And that's what the group chat is. It's the team, um, wanting to go soft and her pursuing it. It's not a lot of people are gonna understand it, doing all these conditioning workouts and crazy stuff and um, just the commitment it takes. A lot of like people's friends, a lot of like my friends, they don't understand it, so it's not even worth to talking to them about. Um, some people might try and hold you back, because they see you doing well, and it makes them feel bad, so they try and hold you back. You don't need that kind of thing around. But then even like your family, if I went to my mom right now and I said, "Mom, I swam a sub 9 minute 500-meter swim," she'd be like, "Oh, nice. I think, that like what is that a good time? I don't know." Yeah, it's not that she doesn't care, it's just that she doesn't understand. Um, but in the group chat, everyone understands, everyone cares. We are constantly supporting each other, helping each other, and pushing each other. Um, my my physical progress, I can directly attribute and thank a couple of the other guys in the group for pushing me and for wanting to compete with them. I would not be physically where I am right now if not for them. So the group chat, I think, is just and an amazing tool. One that really makes Guardian Fitness. It helps to make Guardian Fitness what it is.
Yeah. I think the group chat was probably one of the single best tools that I implemented for you guys, but for a couple of reasons, right? And so the goal setting class that I created, it's important to understand how your brain works, right? And when you tell somebody about your goal, that is an opportunity for that person that you just told to help you with your goal, right? But if you tell somebody like, I want to go do this great thing, and they're like, oh, cool. Well, that doesn't make you want to hang out with that person, right? It doesn't trigger the oxytocin dump that you need or want in a relationship. But if you start getting with like-minded men, like-minded individuals, and they're like, yeah, man, that's freaking awesome. Oh, you ran a 5 minute mile? Man, I ran a 4:30. And then you're like, oh, okay, this is how we're going to do that. Boom, let's go. And dude, it's been phenomenal watching you guys through the group chat. I do want to just take a minute and plug Guardian Academy. So, with the group chat that I have you guys on, that's on Signal, right? And all it is talking. But with Guardian Academy, if you guys pop over there, create an account, and you're honest about the location that you live in, you guys can actually see everybody else in the same city who lives near you. So the benefit to that is now it's not just group chat. It's okay, now I have somebody who could go to the gym with me and I'm going to run faster than him. I'm going to push myself harder than him, right? So if you guys get an opportunity, head over to Guardian Academy, create an account, be honest about your location and use it. Talk to each other. Um, all right. So group chat, after a while with us, man, you reached out about the nutritionist program that I had, right? Sammy, who
Hmm.
was offering a pretty awesome discount at the time. So
Okay.
what's your experience with Sammy?
Yeah. So, I had never really thought much about nutrition prior to talking to her, but I was very out of shape when I first like took to her, like took her up on the discount she was offering. Never thought about nutrition, but I was like, okay, something's gotta change because I don't not like where I'm at right now. Um, so I ran through her program. It was very cohesively done. Spent about half a day, going through all the videos, the slides, the PowerPoints and stuff. And at the end of it, she actually has like a couple Excel docs that you could put your numbers into and give you kind of an output on like your macros and stuff, which are pretty important to track if you're trying to like change your fit and physique or gain or lose weight. It's important to know how much you're putting in, how much is going out. Um, and she made health and nutrition feel so simple and intuitive. Um, Prior to that, I was I'd wake up in the morning and I'd take like a 300 milligrams of pre-workout, go to the gym on a completely empty stomach, just that, uh, power through, get to work, eat like a breakfast sandwich, and then, lunch was whatever. And then I'd have another energy drink. Oh, I also get coffee in the morning, so pre-workout, then coffee. Then at the end of work, I'd get an energy drink, go home, snack on something or other, and then, go to bed feeling horrible, wake up feeling horrible. Um, Once I, started to implement a lot of the things that she talked about, and her course really inspired me to start digging a lot deeper into my own health and different spheres of my health. And she's really gotten me on a like completely different, not just health trajectory, but life trajectory, I think, than I was on prior to taking her course. But after taking her course, I don't take pre-workout in the morning. I eat something before I go to the gym in the morning, which I mean, sounds like common sense, but I had to learn that. Um, I'm much more conscious about the foods I eat, where I get the foods from, what the ingredients are. Um, I wake up feeling good. I'm tired at the end of the day when I'm supposed to be tired. Everything's kind of fallen into shape very nicely. Um, and I actually, so at my peak, I was 187. Um, Let me see. I actually have, so I hope you'll be able to see this. If not, not a big deal. So this was me at 187, April of last year, somewhere around there. I don't know if you could see that. I'm pretty, you know,
Yeah.
pretty big. Like this is like the biggest like I'd ever been, and I don't mean big in like a big strong way, but like And then this was I'm trying to think, when was this? This was probably like 3 or 4 months ago. Um, so that was 187, and this is 165. If I can get this
I like how
to,
you blocked out your face.
I don't know why I did the one and not the other one. But yeah, I and
Worries.
I
If you
it's a little
send those to me, if you
Mhm.
send those to me, I could send them to my video guy and then he can
Perfect. Yeah.
upload it and make it look all
So,
pretty. Have him block out
uh,
your face if you want, but
yeah, but like, that's more than 20 pounds. That's 187 to 165. I think that was over the course of like 8 or 9 months. Um, and then because one thing she emphasizes is losing weight as slowly as possible, like not necessarily slowly losing weight, but not throwing off how much you're eating all that much, not making a big drastic change. Um, yeah, 187 to 165, a little over 20 pounds. And I've kind of floated around that 165 range for the last couple months, which I'm happy with. I'm happy with that weight, the way I feel here. And yeah, I have her to thank for a lot of my fitness, but um, that leads me kind of to the next thing I think you were gonna ask about, which is
wait,
the
before we get to coach, because I
Mhm.
think that's what you're going
Yeah,
into, right?
yeah, because they kind of
Um,
tie it together.
so with Sammy, it wasn't just the product, right? You didn't just pay for it and then get access to the product. You actually messaged her and chatted with her and like she was responsive, right?
So initially, yes, it was just the item, or not the item, but like the PowerPoints, the presentations, the slides, the Excel sheets, and that's all you really like. That has everything in it that you need. But I was so enamored with what I was learning from her and things I've learned since then, just from my own interest, that then I went on to message her and email her questions, and she got back to me on those questions. And actually, when I purchased the course, there's a little thing on the bottom that I could have added on a one-to-one like FaceTime talk for like a half hour about any questions I had. And at the time, I wasn't, I didn't really know what was going to be in it. So I didn't know what questions I was going to ask. And I was like, you know what, I'm not going to need this. And it was like some extra money. And I was like, you know what, I'm not going to need that. It wasn't even a lot of money. I think it was like $30. And I didn't do it. And then after I went to the course and I started getting interested, I was like, damn, I really wish I did that. But even though I didn't, I've emailed her back and forth a couple times, and she's graciously and very expansively explains the answers to the questions that I had.
Yeah, Sammy, she's good people for sure. Glad we were able to get her to help you guys out. So yeah, nutritionist, she helped you out a ton. Let's go into coach. So I've said this multiple times. I say it to everybody who comes on, man. Like I have one of the best human performance coaches that I've worked with in my 10 years in the Air Force. Like I've had everybody from Coach Chad, literally named Coach Chad, who would just have me row on a rowing machine for 2 hours because I had a broken foot, to the bro coach, to like every other dynamic of coach that you can possibly get. And Coach Rob is the perfect blend of the art and the science of human performance as a whole. Um, he's phenomenal. So I was able to get him to build programs for you guys, and he helped you out a ton, right?
Oh yeah. So my change in weight and my change in like body composition, um, that kind of coincided both with the nutrition and the physical aspect of it. Um, one would not have happened without the other, but coaches, my experience with coach, um, yeah, I'll run through some times first, some numbers, and then I'll get into the like nitty gritty of coach because the numbers tell a lot. So um, I have pre-coach and post-coach, and now some of these numbers are like in between, like with coach and like my best times, I got with him, but um, like all these numbers are courtesy of him. So my mile and a half run last year was right around 12 minutes. My 500-meter swim was right around 13 minutes. That was my like first 500-meter swim attempt ever. Um, and those numbers they're disgusting to look back at. Um, my pull-ups, so we did like a mock IFT like mid my time with coach, and we did a whole IFT train up. I'll go into that a little bit. Um, I did 12 I did 12 pull-ups, but the form on them, I don't think 12 of them would have counted. I think maybe six if I was lucky. Um, and push-ups, pre-coach, I want to say I was about 40. Like this is back way before coach. After coach. Um, and this is after, all the stuff we've done after the IFT specific train up. Um, my mile and a half went from 12 minutes to right around 9 minutes. I say right around nine because I did it on an indoor track and like the distance and time is a little off, but right around nine. My swim went from 13 minutes to 8:56. My goal during that IFT Churton train up thing was to have both under 9. Um, and I was very, very happy to have accomplished that. Um, Pull-ups, we just did max pull-ups the other day, like a couple of days ago. It was after a couple working sets though of like weighted pull-ups, but then it was a max set of body weight. And I got 12, which, didn't I start with 12? Yes, but these like the form is night and day. These aren't 12, like fighting it over. Like these are 12 lockout my standard now is having my clavicle touch the bar. If my clavicle doesn't touches the bar, I don't count it. Um, so I've gone from 12, the worst form pull-ups you've ever seen, to 12 solid form after a working set or a couple of working sets. So I think, I'm even higher than that.
And
Um,
those working sets are designed to fatigue you, right? So the fact that you got 12 after that anyways is it's pretty good.
yeah, I was very happy, to be able to have my my not best be better than my former best, if that makes sense. And then my push-ups, I haven't retested my max, um, but going from sub like right around 40 push-ups before coach, I'm at least 60 now. I haven't redone the max test, but I would imagine even greater than 60. So that's the numbers, and that's the stuff that excites everyone. Seeing the run times go down, the swim times go down, the push-ups go up, the weights go up, bench, squat, all that stuff. Um, but the there's two things that need to happen to make that happen. One is the work on the individual's end, on my end, on everyone else who's in the program's end. The other is the programming and programming to make that kind of thing happen. And with SOF, it's much different than some other fitness programs might be because you're not just lifting. You're not lifting to get big and strong, although you do want to be strong. You also have to be fast. You have to be able to swim. You have to be able to move. You have to be like all these different things. Um, and coach he continues to um, improve us in every aspect. Excuse me. And he does so in a way that's very personalized to us, both between the medium he uses to like bring us the workouts, the bridge, and between his own efforts and knowledge. Like when we did the IFT train up, we did an entire week of testing. And then from those test results, he curates the program kind of to us, what paces we should be running at and how many reps we should be doing of this and what weight we should be doing this. Everything's curated and catered towards us as individuals, which is very, very cool. And, I don't think that's something you get with other fitness programs, because they just give you a PDF and say do bench, you just bench 3 by 10 and then do push-ups but hold the bottom spot for this long, do those stuff. Like it's not personalized at all. It doesn't meet your specific needs, where what coach has done very much does so. He makes it very simple. He makes it very easy for you to succeed if you put the work in.
Yeah. I like too that with his program, there are times when you can see everybody else's numbers, like the weights that they're working with or the run speed they're working with, and everybody's like just a little bit different. But then there are other times when it's just you and him. You could ask him questions, be like, "Hey, coach, my shoulder's hurting this week," and he'll respond and be like, "Hey, man, don't do this instead." Um, and it's funny when him and I actually started working together and setting this up. He's like, "Oh, I'm only going to respond once a week," and like that was the standard that he set with me. But I think he's been a bit more responsive with all of you guys, and you've all benefited from it. One thing I also kind of want to touch on the IFT prep program that he had you guys on. He's no longer going to do that in the 8 week format that you guys had it in. So if you guys visit the Bridge website that Coach Rob has his programs on, the IFT prep is now a completely separate program. So if you're looking at getting into the fitness plan with Connor, with myself, with all of the other people who are a part of it, that is a separate program than the IFT prep, just to kind of cage expectations there. All right. You have anything else to say about Coach Rob, man? Or like the effort you put in? Because, dude, you've been crushing it.
Um, no, kind of like what you were saying was his responsiveness is amazing. And like kind of the same, with Sammy, where once like gotten started getting more involved, I had all these questions and I was so much more interested. And it's been the same with him, where it's like, once I started doing this stuff, he's just so knowledgeable and so smart that I was very easily able to, get excited and interested in what he is trying to teach us. And he's always available to, or not always available. He says once a week, but it's like I can message him at 5 o'clock on a Monday and or 5 a.m. on a Monday, and he'll get back to me at like 5:30. Like I think this past week I messaged him during one of my workouts. I messaged him at like 5:15, and he messaged me back at like 5:20. Mid workout, he answered the question that I had. That's a very, very cool thing that you're not going to get from a PDF.
Yeah, I can't promise that that's always gonna happen because he's in the same time zone as me. So let's
Then I don't know what he's doing up at 3:30 in the morning.
that's nuts. All right.
But yeah. So yeah, that's coach, that's coach. That's Sammy. I think that's the nutrition and the fitness. I think they go together very well. Well, actually, well, the three things, that's, the mindset, the purpose, the fitness, and the nutrition and health, everything kind of comes together to create um this body, this mind that's not just ready for ANS or this or this. Like you're ready for like anything.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, well, we're going, the mind, the body, uh, and honestly, the spirit. It's you know, one thing that I think Guardian Fitness especially, offers that I don't see offered really anywhere else is I don't want to say like faith counseling, but just discussions on faith. Um, and I understand why a lot of different companies or different things don't go into faith is because um, it can be polarizing. It can be a very sensitive topic. It can be tough to bring up, and especially tough to like navigate some conversations around. Um, it's not something that people really, for some reason, really like to talk about or to add or to advertise. Um,
What
but
I've noticed is it makes people uncomfortable, right? And if you like before we do the mission statement class or the purpose or the why statement class that you and I talked about, like I tell you mine, and mine is founded in or grounded in faith. The very first sentence is about God and how I do everything. I try to do everything with that in mind, right? And what I have seen is the how uncomfortable it makes some people, like just seeing their face change on screen. And it's like, well, you sure this is what you're interested in, man? But yeah, it's crazy.
well, the way I thought a lot about how I was going to phrase this analogy. Um, the way you guys have approached, or the way you approach faith, and the way this Guardian Fitness approaches it is, um, you know, like I was originally just going to describe it as it's an open door policy type thing where hey, if you want to come in, you can, but it's a little bit more intricate than that. Um, and I was trying to use some imagery to explain um, how it feels to be a part of, or to how I'm just going to paint a picture for you of how Guardian Fitness approaches faith. So imagine you're walking around some kind of environment, and the environment and your familiarity with the environment totally depends on where you are in your life. For me, when I found Guardian Fitness, I felt like I was kind of walking around one of those that what was it? The Salvador Dali painting, with the melting clocks. I felt like I was kind of walking around there. I was really confused about some things. I wanted to do rescue, but I wasn't in great shape, and I was giving up medicine for it. I was very confused. Um, but that's not going to be everyone's experience. Some people, then they when they're walking around their environment, they'll be in their own home and they'll be very comfortable. Um, but wherever you are when you find this door, it's going to be cracked open on a little bit, and there's going to be a very warm glow coming out of it. So I'm walking around this Salvador Dali-esque environment. I see this door, and it's cracked open just enough. It's not forcing me to go in there. There's nothing, there's no path directly to it. I'm not on a conveyor belt. It's just there. It's open. And it's open in a way that, and it's giving off this light that's, it's warm, it's inviting. You kind of want to go in there and kind of want to see what's inside. And again, I'm in this environment. Some people's environment might be, like I said, someone might be and feel like they're in their own home and everything's very comfortable and stuff. And they see the door, but they're in their own home. They know where they are. They don't need to go in, and that's fine. Some people might be in a tundra, and there's a darkness everywhere, and they see the door and they really want to run into that door because it's nice and it's just emitting that welcoming feeling. Um, So whether you go in the door or not is entirely up to you, and it's not gonna change your garden. I shouldn't say it's not gonna change your garden fitness experience, but garden fitness is still gonna be there. But if you go in that room, if you are someone who's got questions on faith or you're looking to expand your faith, um, you'll go in that room and you will understand why the light was so welcoming and so inviting. Um, and you spend as much time in that room as you want. We've spent a lot of time in there, just through the conversations I've had and the questions I've asked. Um, and when you leave the room, you know, you feel just so much better. You feel much more. You leave carrying some of the glow that you saw when you were on the outside of it. Um, yeah, I'm very glad that I entered that door. Um, and look, I understand the door is not for everyone, and Guardian Fitness will still be Guardian Fitness if you don't go in the door. Um, but within that door is you might be really surprised with what you find.
That's an awesome picture that you painted. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Um, so Connor, one of the biggest selling points that I try to make when I first meet with people or when I'm like, hey, whatever your goals are, right? If it's to go for pararescue, sweet. Any other sort of special warfare job, cool, I'll help you. But if your goal is to start a business, or your goal is to get your PhD, or your goal is to, insert whatever here, my big selling point is I'm going to use my network. I'm going to leverage the people that I know to help you on your way to your goal. How do you think Guardian Fitness, myself and the other mentors that I brought on, how do you think we've held up to that?
So it's a little bit of a tougher question for me personally to answer because I haven't asked a lot of Guardian Fitness. I mean, like I not that, I haven't had questions, but a lot of the questions I've had, the people have already been there. The nutritionist, I did not think I was gonna have nutrition questions, but just through her being there, I had them and I was able to ask them fitness quote questions. Um, you know, I have like you said, one of the like greatest coaching minds that you've ever worked with, ready to answer my questions, and sometimes he answers them at 5:30 in the morning. Um, um, Faith-based questions, like I was just talking about. We've had many discussions. We've had many discussions with like different subgroups within the thing to find answers to those questions. And some questions I've had have been tough, but you have gone out of your way to find answers to those. Um, and then just recently, in the Guardian Academy, in the Mighty app, um, you have brought in Logan, who is a current active duty recruiter, and I've started asking him questions, and he's actually doing a meeting that I'm very excited to attend and ask him some more. So all in all, I haven't asked a lot of Guardian Fitness, but given the resources that have been presented to me, um, I've I've gotten a lot more answers than I thought I was going to need at the start of this. Yeah.
Awesome.
That being said, the it's nice to be a part of the network and know that, down the line, if I do have questions, if I do, need something, I'm connected to the right, I'm in the right group to, find whatever it is I may need.
Yeah. So just a quick recap of the last hour. Guardian Fitness, not a smoke session in your backyard. It's a well-rounded program that tackles physical, emotional, mental, spiritual aspects. Um, yeah. And we try to leverage our networks to help you succeed in your goal. Did I miss anything there? Anything you've experienced that?
No, I mean, that was you said it best: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Um, and like we talked about at the beginning, I think the totality of that encompasses something that, um you're not gonna get elsewhere. You're not gonna get in that. It's something you just can't get in a PDF. Yeah.
All right, Con. Well, I think it's time to close it out. Man, thank you so much for coming on here. It's been a long time coming. I've been trying to get you to write a review for a little over a year now.
I've been trying to leave that review for over a year now. I don't know why my phone just, or I don't know if Google doesn't like my phone. My phone doesn't like Google, but I think this is a little bit better than a written review. I will still try and get that up though.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, brother. Um, you have an excellent night. Uh, yeah. Let me know if you need anything. Give me a call.